All right, I'm in my 99 account. I'm going to play some T5, and I want to play some T5 this week because the Sharuba Springs holes are still here. And what we did was we prepped for them for the tournament, but playing them, we really didn't have a long enough period of time to play them. They're brand new holes, playing them in one-on-one, so we can see what we're doing with a Marlin or a Quasar. So let's open up some chests here. Let's get some chests open. Let's clear up some slots so we can go out there and try and win. Let's see, we got some clubs here we can upgrade. The Malibu. Picking up a little bit of distance. If you watch my channel on a regular basis, I'm a huge Spitfire fan. So why do I have a Malibu in my bag? Because I don't have a Spitfire. When you first start, the Malibu absolutely, positively is the best one. As you start to get them up in levels, clubs will overtake them. But the Spitfire for me, especially when you get it to level 2 and it gets that 6 backspin, as soon as it gets that 6 backspin, it's in my bag. And I know you're thinking 6 backspin, that sucks. Not on a Spitfire. 6 backspin on a Spitfire is probably 36 or 46 backspin on any other club. It's a massive amount of backspin, as high as that club hits. Let's see, what else do we have that we can upgrade? The Claw. I got this in, I'm not even sure how I got this club or why I'm getting it. I haven't played any Tour 6. I got it in the Golden Shot originally. I think I originally got it in, like, give us a Christmas gift, and it was one of the clubs that was in there, and then I picked it up in the Golden Shot. Just kind of got lucky and picked it up. Those commons, so there'll be a time when it'll be a usable club, but for the most part, the commons, until they hit level 8, especially when you start talking about the Tour 4, 5, 6 commons, and when they get to level 8, then they really start to shine. It's kind of like the Saturn's usable before it's level 8, but once it gets to level 8, it starts to show you its potential. Spitfire, there's times when you can use it, but when it gets to level 8, it really starts to show you why everybody likes the sniper, not Spitfire. All right, I like to keep them. Once you get enough coin that you can open up all your clubs, then I can just maintain. As I get one up where I can upgrade it, I'll just maintain it. So there's bag number 3. There's bag number 2, an accurate bag. There's bag number 1. I'm trying out that Horizon to see, because it's got great ball guide. It's not very accurate, but when you've got lower developed stuff, the Viper is not. The Viper, you're going to use the Viper for a while, but it has weaknesses. Distance, top spin, Maple Bay, hole 7, par 4. Let's go out and check it out. See if we can get any of these Sharuba Springs holes. I want to see on these Sharuba Springs holes what we can do with the Marlin and how we have to play them different. You play holes different in one-on-one than you do when you're in tournament play. Number one, you got different wins. And our goals are different. In tournament play, our goal is to get up there and pick up a shot, bring out whatever we need to. We know what the wins are. We can prep that shot. We know what the wins are. We know what clubs to bring. We can bring the right stuff. And when you're a one-on-one, it's a little bit different. My goal here is different. My goal is to beat my opponent. How much distance do I have here? Quite a bit. I'm going to be right dead center in the middle of that fairway. 3. I don't need to get, I could, with the limited amount of curl I could get, as long as I hit that thing perfect. 2, 3, it's 2.4 per ring, so that's about a ring. I'm going to put on all my massive curl. You ready for it? There you go. There you go. That's it. Hitting it 1 ring great to the left. On that shot right there, my goal was to hit it 1 ring great to the left or perfect. I didn't want to hit anything to the right, so just trying to pop it up there so that I can get into what I really like to get into as my short iron range. I don't think I'm quite far enough in there. The short iron that I have on my low level account is a Kingmaker. I might be in my Kingmaker range. It's a great club for lower developed accounts. You'll get it very quick. It's a T2 club. It's got great accuracy, great ball guide. And the two things that you don't have clubs for when you got lower developed clubs is accuracy and ball guide, especially in your short iron. Some clubs I'm looking for different stuff. Wedge, accuracy. I mean, do we like accuracy in our wedge? Well, duh. But when I have lower developed stuff, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for ball guide and topspin, because then I can use it like a rapier and I can run it out and flatten it out and get the ball really close to me. So the closer the ball is, the less wind's a factor and the less accuracy matters. With my Kingfisher at Max Club, it is 1.2 per ring. And one of the things about a Kingfisher is it doesn't have a lot of topspin, but it has a lot of backspin. It's 1.2 per ring. I'm going to get right up on the cup. Like right up on it. 1.2 per ring, so 3 rings is 3/6. Try and hit it perfect. Hitting it perfect. Get in the hole. Get in the hole. Da, 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 da. It's going to end up short, right in front of the cup. I knew I should have put that bounce right in the hole. That's the thing about that Kingfisher, though, is that it's very accurate. It's 1.2 per ring at max. I play that Kingfisher 1.2, 2.1, 2.4. Mid club 2.1, minimum club 2.4. It's got good ball guide for a low level club. Good accuracy. It's a little weak in distance. It's a little weak in topspin. So if you're on those holes where you ended up a little bit short, sometimes the Kingfisher will put you in between clubs and you may have to switch to your runner in a tournament. But when you're playing one-on-one play, if your secondary club, the club that's behind it in long iron, is a Saturn where you have backspin and you get to that point where it's not, you're in between the red line, that Saturn can make up the distance because of the backspin. So you can get right up on it. 1.5 backspin. I'm going to leave myself 2 rings, so it's 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, 8. Little shy of 3.5 rings. We are doing a wind adjustment there, an extra, but I can't remember what it is, so I'm not going to do it. I'm going to put a little bit of curl to bring it back to the hole. And if you're asking, well, why didn't you just move it closer to that sand, and then you could have made up that distance and not have to use curl? Because for me, it's all about shot setup. It's all about the deal there is would you rather end up there on the cup, and when you use the word curl that your chances of putting it in the hole are diminished, but be 2.35 from the cup because you added a little bit of curl and you got the curl just a little bit wrong? Or would you rather be down there and hit a great to the right and end up in the sand? I'm not interested in playing with that sand. I think I watch people play when I'm playing one-on-one and they epic fail because they give themselves zero room and then they hit on that side and they end up in the sand. So like where my opponent's at, if they hit a great to the right, bam, they're in the sand. They didn't even give themselves a shot at getting a win. Let's see if they get the win right. They did not adjust out the wind. That club is 2 per ring as well, right in that neighborhood. So they're going to be off to the left and they have no curl. They did hit a great to the right, so that helped their cause. Bam, in the sand. Bam, in the sand. Give yourself room. You're setting the shot up. Why would you pinch yourself up against the transitional surface? So that you only give yourself a perfect or a great on the other side. If you're one of those players that hits perfect every time or all the time, all right, go for it. But in those times that you don't hit perfect, you're going to end up in the sand. And I'm on the green 2.35 away. So thank you. Thanks. Thank you very much. Da, 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 da. It's not that I don't end up in the sand or the rough. Even giving myself a break, I'll hit the shot bad or I'll do some stupid thing. But if you watch my stuff on a regular basis, I don't end up in the sand and the rough often. When we're taking those big risky shots in the tournaments and you're in those spots, then yeah, there's times when I'm not too happy about where I ended up. But for the most part. I don't end up in the rough in the sand. What's the best rough iron and sand wedge in the game? The one you never have to pull out of your bag. Okay, there's 4.8. That leaves me 7. It's 2.4 per ring, so it's about, I'm going to do 2 1/3. I'm going to try and hit it perfect. I like to play this with my upper developed clubs. I play this hole with a quarterback because my quarterback has more than the 3 topspin that I have in this account. So with my quarterback, if I hit it down in there with a marlin, it leaves me a little bit short, and I've got to come at the green depending on how the wind is on the green side. If you're getting any headwind, it makes that shot super difficult. But that's the type of fairway hitting into on the drive that I typically like to bring out my more accurate clubs, because the farther you get down the fairway, the narrower the fairway gets. And if you're playing with a club that's as inaccurate as a extra mile, or your big topper and you're 2, 2.5, 3 per ring, and you're off 1 ring, bam, you're in the rough. Whereas with your quarterback, it's 100% accurate. You'd have to hit a 3 ring great to end up in the rough. But when it only has 3 topspin, it is lacking. There are some holes that it doesn't matter. That 3 topspin is more than enough. But there's some holes that... Now, here's the difference between tournament play and one-on-one. In tournament play, we would want to force this issue. I mean, we want to get up here and get that eagle. Or we want to get up here and give ourselves a shot. But my opponent ended up in the rough. So my goal is to get up on the green. Where? On the green. I'm not too picky about it. I just want to get up there, so I don't need to press my luck here. And I don't really like hitting against that headwind, I can tell you that. So it's 2.6 per ring, or it's 2.8 per ring. So 2.8, and I'm right on my red line, so let's go back. Let's reset that shot. Let's come over here. Let's put my meager little backspin on it. It's going to put me off in this area. And just try and bounce it up there and stay out of the rough, hopefully. And I ended up in the rough. I did exactly what I said not to do. I should have just went off there to the right, laid it up out there, gave myself a chip in, a serious chip in to get caught up, and I ended up blowing my cardinal roll, which is fairway to green. Fairway to green. Make your putt. I opened the door for my opponent. My opponent was kind enough to give me a serious look at a win, and I was stupid enough to let them back in the door. Oh no, come on in. All right, let's see if we can recover from that epic fail. This is all about hitting it perfect. Need to hit this shot perfect to get it in. Hitting it perfect. And recovered. Recovered from my mistake there. The goal is to win chests. And when your opponent is kind enough to put themselves in the rough and they beat themselves, don't turn around and do something stupid. I should have came out over here, found out where my red line was, pulled back about 4 rings, put on some topspin, and even if I just laid up out on the side right here and had a chip, that was the high percentage way to go at it. And that forces my opponent to have to make this shot. Now, I got lucky and was able to get that in and hit that perfect, but that was not the way to go at it. That's not the high percentage way for you to win these one-on-ones. And one-on-one is all about maximizing time. Because if you're a 50% player and you're trying to open up, the goal now with the Prism Chest is to get 300 common cards a day. So if you're playing in Tour 5, you're looking at 25, maybe 30 in a silver chest, probably 25. You figure 3 silver chests and a gold. In your gold, you're getting a little bit more. So let's say between the 3 silvers and the gold, you're getting 100 for every 4 chests that you win. Well, you're going to have to win 12 chests in order to get 300. So if you're a 50% player, that means you're going to have to open up 24 chests, or you're going to have to play 24 matches. And in a tournament, we can do a tournament in about 2 hours, a little less. It takes me a little longer just because I'm filming video. Now let's open that chest. Let's make sure we always have 2 slots open, a minimum of 2, because I like to replay people if I can. You don't get people to replay you very often, but when you do, you always want to have chests available. So it's all about maximizing time. So would you rather go out there and play for 2.5 hours, 3 hours to get your 25 games in so that you can 24 games in so you can win 12? Or would you rather be a 66% player or a 75% player and only have to play 18, which is less than 2 hours? So if you're talking about gameplay during the day, that's an hour a day less that you have to play. If you are in one of those clans that's a grinding clan, and they want you to have so many points. Okay, this hole right here. Which hole is this? This is hole number 9. I don't think I can get over there. Even if I did a max OP shot, I don't think I could get over there. I'm going to try some different stuff on these holes because I want to see what's possible. I want to find like a spot. Okay, so there. I'm going to come over to right where I'm clipping the rock. Let's go halfway through. I'm going to go in that area right there and see what happens when we do a max OP. And see if I can catch that fairway or if I went just a bit too far to the right. I took that shot here an hour or so ago, and I was out from that about 3 rings. So I came in about 3 rings from where I was. I'm trying to find the range. So now I know where the range is. Next time I get on there, I'll be able to catch the fairway and see if I can get over. I think the smart move here is to lay up there at the top and make it 3 shots to get on, because a lot of people, especially if you've got lower developed stuff, a lot of people are going to put themselves in a spot. If you're doing you can catch a better shot on a max overpower hook shot because you're trying to get down there in that spot. You can catch that better than trying to hit a max overpower shot and try and catch perfect. Machete, about 2 per ring, so I'm going to do about 3/4 of a ring. Just try and hit it. I took my wild shot to see if I can do it, and now the goal is to get myself back in play, get back on track. I know if I'm up in this area with a big ball, you can get over there. So it's still I still got work to do. With a bigger power ball, your red line is up in here with a Viper. With a small ball like this, I may have to bounce over. I don't know, because we didn't get to play these holes that much before they came out. And these are the holes that I'm really looking for right now because I want to see what we can do with a Marlin and just go out there and play. All right, we got plenty of club with the big dog and that ball, so that's good to know. Let's put on some backspin here. I'm going to put on 3 backspin. What's that look like? And I have so little ball guide, I'm not worried about trying to get it up there in the cup. The deal is if you cut too much, it's not about this rough over here. It's about that sand. So I want to give myself enough room. At max club, it's a 2.4 per ring, so there's 5. So we're about a ring and a 1/5. Hitting it perfect. I want to see if how much that backspin rolls out. So I could have put on maybe 1 backspin and be able to get up there. since you have such a limited ball guide, it's better to be in the fairway right there and have to take that chip than to press your luck, because if you go past the hole with any speed at all, you'll end up in the rough. See if my opponent will let me back in the game. And they did. Now I still have some work to do, but I took my wild and crazy shot, and then I'm playing to the fairway. Fairway to fairway to green. Fairway to fairway to green. I'm going to work on that shot, though, because I really want to know what's possible with a Marlin ball. And like I said, we didn't get enough practice time to really find out what's possible. I know what I can do with a 5-power ball. In the hole. Go into a shootout. Now, a lot of players would have gone out where I was at right there and then tried to recover. They get in panic mode, and they're like, they try and make up for their mistake. And the deal is there's no making up for your mistake. Take your lumps. Put yourself in a spot that you know you can get up. Put yourself in the fairway. Go right in the middle of the fairway. Give yourself the maximum amount of room and land in the fairway. It's so easy in this game, and you see it happen so often that people go from the rough to the rough, from the sand to the sand. On some of those big par fives, they go from the rough to the rough to the rough. You want to stay in the fairway. If you guys don't watch Dale Appleby, Dale Appleby does, he streams. He's a really good friend of Hammer and Hanks, and I was talking to him yesterday on Sunday in the weekend round of the Winter Major, and I needed to vent, and I was talking to him, and we were talking about the same thing. It's the difference in play when you're playing tournaments versus when you're playing one-on-one. And one-on-one, we have different goals. Our goals are to win chests. That's the farm. We need to get that farming aspect down. And so the way you do that is fairway to fairway to green. Fairway to fairway to green. Let's see where that's terminating at. I have to put a little bit of curl to bring it to the hole. It's 1.4 per ring. I'm going to do a 2-4. That's a 20% adjustment. I think we were doing an adjustment here, so I'm going to do a 20%. So I'm going to put a little bit of curl to bring it back to the cup. Hitting it perfect. See if that top spin's right. Right to the cup. Your goal in one-on-one play is to win tournament, or is to win chess, and you want to do it in the least amount of games. So if you go out there in the fairway, if you go out there on the hole and you play fairway to green, you're going to win 50% of your matches outright. Never even have to go to a shootout. And then if you can go to the shootouts and you can win 50% of the shootouts, you're a 75% player. And that means if you're trying to open up 12 chests in a day, what's that? 15, you only got to play 15 matches. And you can do that in less than 2 hours. So if you're on one of those clans that says, hey, we have a grinding thing and you have to grind out and you've got to get so many wins in a day, do you want to go out there and have to play 3 hours a day to meet your clan's grinding thing? Or do you want to go out there and play for an hour and 30 minutes, hour and 45 minutes and get the grinding thing? So playing fairway to green, not only is it going to net you more wins, but you're going to get those wins in a shorter period of time. And never look at somebody's, okay, for a lot of players out there, you can look at Nog Hog and go, okay, they got a 75% win percentage. That's probably what their win percentage is. But somebody like me, where I play this 99 account in tournaments and I forfeit, on average, we play 45 holes in a tournament. And on average, I probably forfeit 30 matches per tournament. So I've played in 23 or 24 tournaments. So that means I've got about somewhere in the neighborhood of about 700 of my losses came because I forfeited. And so when you look at my win percentage, you have to understand that there's a big chunk of that. It's 2.4 per ring. Half of that's 12. So we're in the 2/3 of a ring range, somewhere in that neighborhood. Massive curl. I want to hit this either great to the left or perfect. And I tried to hit that great to the left. I left myself enough room down there to hit a great. And then that keeps me over on that side. A great to the right because of the limited amount of curl. I had enough room for a one ring great to the left, but I'm not sure with the curl I had whether I could have made a one ring great to the right. So when we look at my win percentage in this account, I'm at 53%. People are like, well, 53%, that sucks. But 1,430 games and I forfeited somewhere, I probably forfeited about 600 games. So in the mix of things, that's about 1,300 and something. I've only outright lost less than 100 games in this account. So my actual win percentage is really high if you took those forfeits out. I'm probably well over 85%, probably 90% of my games I win. So never look at somebody's win percentage when you're looking at it and get an idea, because you never know what they're doing, because there are a lot of people that forfeit in tournaments. I'm right at max club. It's 1.2 per ring when I'm at max. Let's see if I can get up on it. .2. There's 2.4. It's 2 rings, so it's 2 rings and a sliver. Need to hit it perfect. Hitting it perfect. See if we got the spin right. In the hole. Knowing your win ring numbers, especially on your short iron, and knowing all of your win ring numbers on the short iron. It's 1.2, 2.1, 2.4 is how I play that Kingfisher. And what's funny is I get people all the time that go, hey man, the mid number is not 2.1 with a Kingfisher. It might not be in the app, but I play it at 2.1, and I've been playing in my short irons at mid club, they're 75% more accurate, and at minimum club, they're 100% more accurate for the last 2.5 years, and I'm not moving off those numbers. If I hit a short iron shot perfect into the cup, there's a dang good chance it's going in. I have several teammates. My teammate Mike, me and him play a lot because I'll do videos and we'll go out and practice holes, or we're practicing something. And so Mike and I play a lot, and he hates it when I get into short iron range. What's funny is that I've been playing him since when I first met Mike. He'd been playing for a while, and he has gotten so much better. It's amazing how much some of my teammates, playing him from when I first met him to playing him now, how much better they are. And he's the same way now. If I play him or Kyle or my buddy Scooby, they get into their short iron range. Okay, there's a good shot here that I'm going to have to make my short iron shot because they're going to sink it. Going back on that clan thing about the grinding, I will tell you, like the Kings of Golf, we have no grinding because we have to grind enough just to prep for the tournaments. That's the deal. Like when we say no grind, like we're not a grinding clan, we aren't. But it takes a lot of, you have to practice for these tournaments. And there's enough grinding just prepping for the tournaments if you want top tournament finishes. Really, and it's not 100%, but how well you do in the tournament, it's practice time. I see people on there on social media all the time that are like, they should make it so that you only get to look at the whole, because this practice thing is all BS. Hey, guess what? I want you to name any professional, college, high school, or any organized sport that is out there. whether it's on a pro level or on an amateur level, where they don't practice to get better at what they're doing. Even if you're an amateur golfer and you go out there, I play in my local men's club, and we go. So what? I can only go play on the days when we're having men's clubs events, and you can't play on days when there's no men's clubs events, because that you can't get any. I don't have time to go out there and play that in my job and stuff, so you can't go play that. When I see people say that stuff, it's so idiotic. Have you never played in sports? Okay, there's 5. There's 6, 7. So I'm going to come off of it just a little. I'm going to do 3 3/4 rings and just try and hit it straight forward. You don't get good at something unless you practice it. Duh. I mean, come on. I mean, really. I mean, I'm not bitching at anybody or doing a thing, but I'm just like, is there anybody right now who's listening that doesn't believe that you're never going to get good at anything if you don't practice it? So of course people are going to go out and practice. And of course some people are going to have more time to practice than others. That's the way it works. That Grim Reaper, when it gets, and I am shocked in this account, most of my chest event, here just in the last 2 weeks, I started playing. I've never played Tour 5 up to this point. One of my teammates asked me to play Tour 5, and so I'm in it. But I've got that Grim Reaper up to level 4, working its way towards level 5, just from opening up tournament chests and one-on-one friendly. And it's amazing how fast you can get these clubs, these lower clubs, built up, because there's so few clubs in the pool. You're only getting clubs for a limited part of the pool, half the clubs that are out there. So you're getting a lot of cards for the clubs that you're looking for. Although I will say I don't get a lot of extra mile cards. My extra mile has been at level 6 now for months, and I barely ever get cards for it. I don't play a lot of Tour 2. If you really want to harvest extra mile club cards, Tour 2 is the spot. Let's see how much time we've got here on this. Just playing some 32. I think I got 2 more in me. I think I got 2 more before we run out of time. It's debatable. Like, the extra mile is a Tour 2 club, and it's a rare. So theoretically, if you're opening up gold chests in Tour 2, you should have a better shot of getting an extra mile, and you will. But sometimes I almost feel like, and I don't know which way it goes, but I almost feel like when you're playing in the tour that club is a card for. So the extra mile is a club card for Tour 2. Now, when you're playing in Tour 2, you almost have less of a shot of getting the card you're looking for than if you were playing in Tour 3. Because Tour 3, they're going to give you less of whatever the rares are in Tour 3. That's about a 3-ring pull. And that puts me a ring into power. Put some curl to bring it back, and I'm going to put just a little bit of overpower. Hitting it perfect. I'm either going to clip, and then right up in the center, it's going to clip that sand and end up bleeding out. And I didn't get enough on there. So I'm never really sure, and I did a video on it one time, and I'm never really sure whether you can net and harvest out more extra mile by playing Tour 3 or whether you get more in Tour 2. It could be debatable either way. Because whatever the Tour 3 rares and epics are, it just seems like when you're playing in Tour 3, it's kind of like the Guardian. You play in Tour 5 so you can harvest out Guardians, but it seems like, I'm not getting many Guardians playing Tour 5, but all of a sudden you start playing Tour 6 and you start picking up some Guardians, and they're not giving you you're very seldom getting the rares from Tour 6. Where am I at? My club? Right towards max. Couple backspin. Get right up on it. Looks like it's going off to the right just a little. scoot it over just a bit. Do 2 per ring, so that's about a ring and a half pull at max club. So 3 miles per hour, 1.5 rings. Hit it perfect. Come on. Hit it 1 ring great to the right. And if I was going to hit that one way or the other and it's still going the whole 1 ring great to the right was the number. And it was a little short. And 1 ring great to the right. Not quite what I was looking for, but recovered. My opponent hits that perfect, they're going to end up to the left of the cup and long. And they didn't. They hit it 2 rings great to the left. There's another shot you can do on this. I hardly ever take it because you got to have the right stuff for it. But you can go to the left and come at this green and do a rough bump. In tournament play, I play it on the side that we played it right there. If you bring out a bigger ball like a Titan or a Kingmaker, you can move your extra mile forward far enough that you can put on about 3 topspin and you're just clear of the sand. Then you put on just a little bit of curl to bring it back to the fairway. Take the wind out, a little bit of curl, bring it back to the fairway, and you got a really great short iron shot from right there. Depending on which way the wind's blowing, you may do a little bit of a wind adjustment, like maybe a 5 or 10%. But there's a rough bump that you can do from the other side. But the wind's got to be blowing in the right direction. A lot of times when we get on that hole, the wind's blowing that when you do the rough bump, you're hitting against the side wind. All right, we're right down in there. Give myself a little bit of, it only takes just a little teeny bit of topspin. The ball guide's lying just a little bit because we don't have great, perfect ball guide here. Going right at it, 3-2. It's 2.0 per ring, so there's 3-2. Seem to hit it perfect. Hitting it perfect. Up to the cup. Putting some pressure on my opponent. There's several ways that you can come at this hole. You can come at it from the left. You can come at it from the right. You can do that rough bump. You can bring a Guardian if you got a Guardian in your bag, and you can get in front of your red line and you can try and stick it right at the cup. And while that's not a high percentage way to make a hole-in-one, you can get super close every time. In my mind, the shot from the left and the shot from the far right coming at it from over here, while you can get a hole-in-one from over there, typically if you do that rough bump, you're going to win a lot of shootouts on this hole. Unless they sink it. That was unlucky. Good game. But if somebody plays from that left-hand side and they know the adjustments from that left-hand side and they know the spot to set it up in, it's one of those shootouts. I almost always come at it from the rough bump. See if we can get it. We got one more in us. Come on, dude. Come on, dude. Don't be wasting our time here, man. Come on, Golfzilla. Cowboys fans? Do the Cowboys still play football? Man, that's amazing. They've been circling the drain for so long. I didn't even realize they were still in the NFL. For all you, my mom is a huge Dallas fan. My brother-in-law is a huge Dallas fan. I remember back in the 70s. I'll tell you one of my favorite players, like players of all time, like Roger Staubach was their quarterback and Tom Landry was their coach. Back in those days, Roger Staubach's the backup quarterback, his name was Danny White. When Roger Staubach retired, Danny White took over the team for a while. And Danny White to me was always one of, he was a player's player. The thing about Danny White that was cool is he was their place kick holder, he was the punter, and he was the backup quarterback. So the opposing team on punts, they've got their backup quarterback is their punter. And so they ran a lot of trick plays, and they could do it because they had a serious quarterback as their punter. And I think that is the way to go on this hole. And I want to bring my big dog. So I'm going to bring this bag right here. I'm going to do exactly what my opponent did. Just try and get up into that area, not try and get too greedy. It's 2.8 per ring, so there's 6. I'm going to just go 2.5 rings, get myself back towards the red line. And he was their place kick holder. So when the guy came out to kick the field goal, he was also on the field. So they ran a lot of trick plays when they were doing field goals. I mean, it was that combination. You never knew what Dallas was going to do when Danny White was on the field. And I always thought that was really cool. And it really, I mean, think about it from the team's perspective. They didn't have to have a punter. That's one other guy they didn't have to have on the team. They could have that other special team guy or that other linebacker. They had options because they had him on the team. He was a great utility player. But of course, my mom was a Cowboy fan, so I had to root for the Steelers. Ending up in the rough. They can easily get on from there, though. I'm going to do this shot right here. I don't need to press my luck, and I know if I get down into this hole that I can easily get up with this big dog. And I've been trying this with the Marlin just to see where I'm at. It's 2.4 per ring, so that's about three quarters of a ring. I know it's about 2 backspin up to the cup. Hitting it perfect, just laying it up. Trying to go fairway to green. I should have took the max overpower hook shot there to see if I got that adjustment down. But I wanted to take a look at it, just like playing it fairway to green and not pressing the issue on what that felt like. Because in the tournament, we definitely want to be up and 2 and trying to get our eagle. But in one-on-one play, this is going to be one of those holes that's going to be very difficult. That was very close. Close. Nice shot. Okay, so I know here it's going to take about 2 backspin. I'm going to try 2 backspin. I think last time I was here I did 3 and ended up a little short. I'm going to try 2 and see where that puts me. .49, so that's around 1/3 of a ring. Not much. Micro movement. Just a little teeny bit of right hand curl. Isn't it perfect? Let's see if the 2 backspin bleeds me up to the cup. 3 put me short. So I can put on about 1 backspin, maybe 1.5, and that'll put me pin high. I want to practice that shot a few times because if you're playing Tour 5, when you go out here and you're playing these new holes, the whole deal is not to press your issue. The whole deal is what can you learn so that the next time you come here, you know, hey, I'm in that spot right there. It's 1.5 backspin. And I'm right next to the cup and I'm taking a putt. Putting pressure on your opponent. Isn't it perfect? In the hole. That was a long putt for me. I hate taking long putts. I'm not really good at putts, so I don't like to give myself long putts very often. That's why I'm trying to figure out how much backspin to put on there so that I can get really close to the cup. number one, it'll give me a shot to get in, and number two, it makes it so that the putt is super short. All right, that was 45 minutes, so this is it. Where am I at? Which way is the wind blowing? I have to set off a little to the side. It's about 2 backspin, right in that neighborhood. I'm going to do a 30% wind adjustment. That's 7, 8, 9, 1. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. It's about 4.5 rings. And that puts me about a ring into power. So I'll put a little bit of curl just to bring it to the cup and just a titch of overpower. Not enough to make the needle go any faster, but enough to let me know that I'm in overpower. Probably needed just a little teeny bit more. That was about a mile per hour of overpower, and I needed to put a little teeny bit more on it. The Goliath will help you out on a lot of these holes because the Goliath hitting at 135, you're going to find yourself in some spots where the Goliath you won't be in between in your red line if you're using a white ball or a marlin. I think that was, they're putting some overpower on it to kind of combat that headwind. That was a little bit too much backspin for that shot, and it was a really poor wind adjustment. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Let's see if they'll replay. You may get some bonus action if they'll replay. No bonus action today. The community let us down. All right, that was some Tour 5 one-on-one play. Just trying to get some of those Sharuba Springs holes to see what we can do out there with a marlin ball and how we need to approach them in one-on-one play so that we can maximize our efforts and our time and not be out there for 3 hours to get in what should take us an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes. All right. Thanks for watching.